Right, hi guys. I want to talk about gerunds and 2 plus infinitive today. So, what is a gerund? It looks like present continuous and past continuous because it's just verb, do, go, play plus ing at the end. It has an ending of ing. Okay? That's all a gerund is. 2 plus infinitive is what it says. It's the verb and then the infinitive. Okay, so just to give you some more examples. Verb plus ing, doing, going, playing. Or, with 2 plus infinitive, to go, to play. Yeah, simple as that. Now, why are these important? They're important, firstly, for when we have 2 or 3 verbs together in English. So let me give you an example of some sentences where you have 2 verbs together. You could say, I want to play football. You have 2 verbs together here, and we don't know what to do with the second verb. Well, we use 2 plus infinitive after want. So if we make a table here of gerunds, and 2 plus infinitive, want is 2 plus infinitive. It's always want to play. I want to go to the shops. I want to visit France. Okay, want is 2 plus infinitive. But some verbs are gerunds. A very well-known gerund verb is like. I like playing football. Okay? So with like, we must use a gerund on the next verb, a gerund at the end of the next verb. So like is over here. Now, most verbs are actually 2 plus infinitive. Most verbs. Let's say 90% of verbs, maybe, are 2 plus infinitive. But some verbs take a gerund, and so it's worth remembering which verbs are followed by a verb with the gerund ending. Playing, for example. I like playing football. Well, they're usually verbs of emotion. They're usually like, hate, and love are all gerund verbs. I love playing football, I hate playing football, I like playing football. But there are many other verbs to remember with gerund. Firstly, verbs which have starting or stopping can all be gerund. Start, stop, begin, finish. All of these verbs are gerunds. I started doing my homework, I stopped doing my homework, I began doing my homework, I finished doing my homework. All of these verbs are followed by gerunds. And we have some more that are very useful to remember. Let me write some of them here. Mind. Mind is very important. For example, if you want to be very polite, we often say, would you mind opening the window? Mind plus gerund. Mind opening the window. However, we could make it a negative with the gerund, and we could say, would you mind not smoking? Yeah, so if we make it a negative, the second verb, if we change this, would you mind? Let's change this part. Would you mind not smoking? So if we want to make it negative, we just add a not before the second verb. Would you mind not smoking? We do exactly the same with 2 plus infinitive. I wanted, well no, perhaps not with want. Let's do another verb with 2 plus infinitive. Would like. Now be careful, because like is a gerund verb. Would like is 2 plus infinitive. So we say something like this: I would like to go to France. Okay? Would like is 2 plus infinitive. Other verbs which are gerunds that are worth remembering are perhaps suggest and recommend. Practice is very often a gerund. I practiced swimming when I was younger. And there are a few others, but perhaps they're the main ones. Now, this is not the only situation when we have 2 or 3 verbs together. It's not the only situation when we use gerunds and 2 plus infinitive. There are a couple of other situations which I'll speak about in a moment. But I'll quickly mention modal verbs, because we have a group of verbs in English called modal verbs, which are always plus infinitive. So I would just write modal verb plus infinitive. They do not have a to. There is no to after a modal verb. Modal verb plus infinitive. Okay? So modal verbs are, for example, may, might, must, can, could, the past of can, would, will. These are all modal verbs. They do not have to plus the infinitive, so we just say, oh, should is another very important one. So I may go to the shops, I might go to the shops, I must go to the shops. No to, not must to go. I can go to the shops, no to. I can't go to the shops if you want to make it negative. I could go to the shops, I would go to the shops, I will go, I should go. Just plus infinitive, there is no to here, no to at all. Okay, so it's after verbs that we use these patterns, and also we can use gerunds and 2 plus infinitive in a couple of other situations. Another time when we use gerunds are after prepositions. Okay, after prepositions. If we have a verb after a preposition, we use it in the gerund form. We use it with ing. So, you could say, I gave up smoking. Give up is a phrasal verb, but all phrasal verbs have a preposition at the end. So after the preposition, we use the gerund, smoking. I gave up smoking. Okay, but it doesn't have to be a phrasal verb. It could be something else, like I'm interested in, or I'm good at. I'm interested in learning English. Learning English. Okay, or I'm good at remembering names. Remembering names. Okay, so I hope it's clear that after any preposition, if we have a verb after the preposition, it has ing at the end of the word. However, after adjectives, we use 2 plus infinitive. So, it's easy to learn this grammar. To learn after it's easy. But there are many other examples. It's difficult to speak another language fluently. It's fun to cook in your free time. I don't know, it could be anything, but if it's an adjective, to learn, to do, to go, we use 2 plus infinitive. There's 2 more situations when we use these 2 words. With gerunds, it's when the verb is subject. If the verb is subject, then we use a gerund. It means when the verb is like a noun, actually. So Smoking is bad for you. The verb is the first word. It is the subject of the sentence. Smoking is bad for you. Yeah, it's the first word, the verb, so it's subject of the sentence. Or cooking is fun. Okay, we use that ing again because it's like a noun. It's the process of cooking and the process of smoking. It's another way in which we use gerunds. Okay, and lastly, with 2 plus infinitive, here we go. We use 2 plus infinitive to show purpose. So for my students, it's like Storby in Russian. To show purpose. For example, I went to the shops to buy some milk. Why did I go to the shops? To buy some milk. Okay, that's all for the first stage of this grammar. It does get more complicated at the next level. It's a little bit more complicated, but the first thing to remember is what I've shown you here with these 3 types, with gerunds, 2 plus infinitive and modal verbs. And unfortunately you just have to remember which verbs are gerunds. Most other verbs are 2 plus infinitive, but you just need to remember your gerund verbs. And you can find a list of gerund verbs below this video, or on my website you can find a table with all of this grammar. And there are many places online where you can find lots of practice exercises for this grammar, but there should be a quiz below this video as well. Okay, I hope that's all clear. If you have any questions, please put them below the video. I will happily answer them. Thanks for watching.